you live in Detroit. Most of your work is based in Detroit. Maybe let's start there. Tell me about Detroit.
So yeah, I was born and raised here, Midwest city, just like pretty poverty ridden city. If you know anything about Detroit, it's on a comeback now and it's like doing things now. The city's doing things now to like kind of get rid of that image and fixing things and building things up and bringing in jobs and just uplifting the city more. But when I was growing up, it was I lived in the inner city, so basically it was like your typical inner city life, things of that nature, like violence and crime and, just poverty. But yeah, bro, other than that, though, regardless of any of those things, because I don't think those things represent a city just because, because that's in any city. But other than that, it was amazing living here. I love living here. Probably will live here for the rest of my life. I haven't been to another city where I get the same feeling that I get being here in Detroit. Like even when I go to LA, New York, or any other places, I've been a couple places out of the country. By the end of that, I'm just so ready to come back home. Like
Yeah.
I can't wait to be back in Detroit. It's probably weird for some people to hear because some people probably think of Detroit and they're like, what's in Detroit? But for me, it's just like, it's home and it's kind of shaped my style of photography and who I am and how I approach my creative process. So I love Detroit.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel
Hmm.
like it's almost like it's one thing that really drew me to your work because I felt like it gave me because I've never actually I think I've driven through Detroit maybe once, but I've never actually been.
Hmm.
And I just felt like when you're shooting a photo of somebody, Detroit is always kind of like the second or third character in the story almost of your work. And it's
Hmm.
really like tied into what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what when you say like that feeling, what is the feeling that Detroit gives you? Like is it just like the familiarity of being home? Is it what is it about it?
It's all those, like, yeah, it's definitely the familiar, like, cause my family's here, my friends are here. It's just like it feels like home because my home is here. But like I said, it's just like the city that made me who I am, and just like I feel most inspired when I'm in this city. When I drive around the city, when I hang out with my friends, when I go visit my family, like those are the things that inspire me to take the photos that I take. I think early on in my career, I was taking a lot of photos of just like street life, just like that kind of culture. And then like another side of Detroit is like it's food, the people, the hardworking people. It's a city full of hardworking people. As you know, it gets very, very, very cold here in the wintertime, and people still have that drive to go out, make some money, and do the things that they got to do to survive and provide for their families. And that's super inspiring to me. And I just want to document that, give those people's, get those people's stories out. I love like, I'm here for now, the documentation of the beauty of Black people. So like, Detroit is the blackest city in America. So for me, that's just like it's an easy win as far as like creativity goes and like being able to document those things that I
Mm,
want to document.
yeah. Yeah, I think that's super cool. It makes sense. Yeah, and I think that kind of ties into like you finding your voice too as a creator. And I'm curious, like you have a very distinct style. When you talk about like documenting Black life in Detroit as kind of where
Hmm.
you've landed and what you do so well. I'm curious if that was just like very natural to you, or is that just like instantly it kind of clicked like this is what I want to be telling stories about, this is what I'm drawn to. Did it take time for you to find your voice in that, or is it just like a continual process for you? Like was it natural from the beginning, like you knew this is what you wanted to tell stories about primarily?
I think I could say I'll say both. I think it was natural, but like it at first it didn't like fall into being like it wasn't natural at first because when I first started photography, it was the typical like you see what's popular on Instagram or the
Hmm.
internet in general, and like you like, oh, I'm gonna take pictures of that because like that's what people are taking pictures of, and
Right.
like that's what's cool, and like that's what people want to see. Because I mean, when I first started, I wasn't the photographer I am now, So
Mm,
after that though, like I did try to go downtown Detroit, take pictures of buildings and like kind of just like city life, things that were not familiar to me.
mm,
But while taking pictures of those things, I didn't get the feeling of the feeling that I was looking for through photography. Like that wasn't coming through for me. And it was because it wasn't true to who I was. And like I was going out seeking these things that like Detroit is not New York, Detroit is not LA. So like I'm going out and trying to take photos similar to these cities when I don't live in those cities.
mm.
After sitting down with myself and just like trying to figure out why I'm not getting the feeling I thought I would be getting, I was like, maybe I just need to like take pictures of things that like actually matter to me, like the people I hang around with, my neighborhood, these streets that like I've walked on like my entire life. And once I started doing that, I got a different feeling and it just kind of took off. I wanted to take pictures every day. I wanted to take pictures all day. And I think it just fell into place after that. So after that kind of revelation, that's when it came just kind of natural to me. Like this is I'm gonna shoot was like what I care about and like what I love.
Right.
So
Yeah, I love you talking about the feeling because, like, I think, like, at least for me, and I think a lot of creators now, it's less about like I think having that inner voice is like kind of hard to find sometimes because I
hmm
feel like I'm always looking at numbers or and I know creators on like social media, like especially photography space. I'm sure, like, if you're trying to grow on Instagram or whatever, you can start to look for the signal of like, am I doing the right thing by all these outer voices. You know what I mean?
hmm
So even you starting by shooting buildings and stuff, trying to make it look like, what people might shoot in other cities. That's
hmm
like probably a reflection of just what you saw online. And you're
exactly.
kind of like, well, maybe this is what photographers should shoot or whatever. But what's so cool about your story is like it didn't feel right to you and you chased what felt right. And I think like ultimately that's what makes your work so striking. Like some of the first photos I saw of yours were very like they just stand out and they are
Mhm.
very distinct to what they are. But you can tell like you had to do some work to like ignore some of the noise to like be true to yourself and shoot what was real to you.
Yeah, for sure. I think anybody who lives in a Midwestern city, maybe Southern city, a Western city that's not like the coast of the West
Mm.
could probably understand how that feels because, I mean, our cities weren't built up to be those cities. Like New York was built up to be a city where people from other countries, other cities, and everywhere, like where they come, like it's the hub for like a lot of things. So it was built up that way. Then LA is like very just Hollywood, like
Mm.
Hollywood's there, so like it's built up that way. And our city is like we're built to like my city in general was built for work, like it was built for people to have jobs and go to work and to do things like the what is it the car industry, like General
Mhm.
Motors is here, so like that's what my city was built up for. So like we clearly have different stories and different paths that we take as far as those things go. So you can be looking for the wrong thing in the wrong places a lot of the time. I
Mm.
feel like for a lot of people because at the end of the day, it's just not going to have that same feeling. No city is going to have the same feeling as another city. I mean, it could come close, but at the end of the day, every city in America or across the world is different with different stories. And I think everybody should take time to get to know their city's story because, like me, there's a bunch of city stories that I don't know about that I would probably love to hear about. Like before me, people probably didn't know too much about Detroit.
Right.
So, you know,
No, that's true. I'm originally from Albuquerque, New Mexico. So like
oh, I love Breaking Bad.
yeah, exactly. That's what anybody knows about us is Breaking Bad.
Right.
But yeah, and like I love Albuquerque and New Mexico so much.
Uh huh.
But it is I feel kind of kindred to what you're talking about as far as like how much I love Albuquerque and we're not there anymore, but like when I think of it, there's just so much depth and there's so much history and so much going on there that's like beautiful and amazing and cool, but it's just not like maybe flashy in the same way that like a big city might feel or
Right.
and it's a shame that it's not getting a little bit more attention because it's such a cool place
Yeah.
and I would love for there to be somebody doing something similar to what you are for Albuquerque or for other towns that maybe don't get as much attention.
Yeah, bro. That would actually be cool because the most I know about Albuquerque is Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
So it's like, but even that though, like I would love to see somebody like shooting deserts and
Mhm.
just like the homes there look really unique.
Yeah.
Like it would be super cool. Where are you at now though?
I'm in New York now.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah, so
okay.
about as
Yeah.
opposite as you can get.
Yeah,
uh,
for sure.
yeah, yeah, but no, I mean Albuquerque is beautiful. It's for me, it's just like what I was raised in, but it
hmm
is very unique, like the adobe homes, and Albuquerque, we have a mountain literally in the middle of our city, like in the middle of the town. It's like how you tell where east is. You just see look where the mountain is,
Wow.
and it's like really so many cool things and so much history, like so much crazy shit has happened there through history. And yeah, just the culture is really, really amazing. So anyone listening, please pick up a camera and make that YouTube channel because it would be awesome.
Honestly,
Yeah, for
honestly.
sure.